This is a 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I am no longer in need of this computer. It has served its purpose on the channel, so I'm going to sell it. But I'm going to try to make money selling this computer by breaking it. So, as is the case with many computers on this channel, I bought this 2018 base model 15-inch MacBook Pro for a video. And after I made the video, ran benchmarks, and got B-roll with this thing, I no longer really need to have this around. A lot of people tend to mistakenly assume that I have just like a warehouse full of Apple products. That's not the case. Usually I buy things, use them. Sometimes I'll keep things in long-term storage for like comparisons and stuff, but most of the time they get sold on and traded around, and I don't have a huge inventory of Macs in my studio space. So this is one that's going to be time to move out the door. So usually what I would do when selling a computer like this is go on eBay and see how much comparable computers are selling for. So if we scroll through these listings here, you'll see here's one that has the upgraded Core i7. I have the same RAM and storage. That's selling for $1,250. I probably couldn't get that much. If we keep on scrolling, here's one that has the same processor, and yeah, this one's the same as mine, also selling or asking for $1,250. This is from a larger seller though. Oftentimes they command higher prices, so I would probably have to undershoot that. Given that I paid $1,000, there's really no room for me to make any money, much less get the money that I spent back after fees and stuff. However, we're not going to be looking at the market for fully assembled MacBook Pros. The strategy that I want to try today is taking apart the MacBook into its core components and selling those individually. Now, when we're talking about a MacBook like this, there are four major valuable components that go into it. There's the bottom case, there's the top case, which is really the chassis of the entire computer. It has the touch bar, the keyboard, the trackpad, and the battery all sort of fused together. Then you've got the logic board, and then there's the display assembly. So rather than look up how much we could sell the entire computer for, we're going to see what we can find if we were to sell each of those components individually. So starting with the bottom case, as you might expect, this isn't super valuable. Here's one for $23 that's pre-owned. Obviously, new OEM parts are going to command a premium because they're very hard to get. So those are like 80 bucks, but here's one for 43, 69. Nice. I think what we'll do is take the low-end estimate and say $23 for the bottom case. So let's see how much a top case costs. Well, here's one for $331, that's also pre-owned. Here's a refurbished one for $250. There's another at $250. $600, good grief. What are they smoking? Looks like there's a decent amount of variation, but we'll take a low-end estimate and say $250 for the top case with battery. Now it's time to move on to the big bucks, starting with the display. Retina MacBook Pro displays are unbelievably expensive relative to what they are. Even the old, like, original MacBook Pro from 9 years ago, those displays are still worth a lot more than you would think they would be. And the reason for that is very simple. Number one, Apple doesn't make their OEM parts available to the public, which means that anything that's going to show up on eBay has to be pulled from units that are already in circulation. The second reason is that the displays are the easiest component to break. MacBook Pros are fairly reliable, so it's not all that common that the logic boards just like die. And so most people that have a repair that needs to get done, it's the display because they crack easily, pretty much on any laptop. And so because it's really easy to break the display and very hard to find one, there's a lot of people that need one and not a lot of people that have ones to sell. If we look at these eBay results, look at how expensive these things are. $700. This one is broken and it's still $100 bucks. $650, $800. So yeah, I think we could probably, let's take $650 as our target and say we could sell the display for $650 bucks. And then finally we have the logic board. Now this one is a little bit of a wild card because when I looked up 2018 MacBook Pro logic board, there's not a ton of listings here. So you can see right up at the top, we've got these two listings, 225 and 480, but they are parts only listings. So that's pretty interesting. Below that, we've got a couple of them. These are brand new boards, apparently, that are over $1,000, which is pretty pricey. And then we've got some more parts stuff, and that's really it. So there's not a lot of supply that we can go off of for pricing, but given that I looked at some sold listings and people were relatively regularly getting up above $600, $700, I think we could probably try to get $750. So all in all, we're looking at 23 bucks for the bottom case, 250 bucks for the top case, 650 for the display, and 750 for the logic board. Of course, these are all relative figures. These are just me guessing based on comparable listings. So when we add all of that together, then theoretically at least, the parts of this MacBook Pro are worth about $1,673 when I only paid $1,000 for the entire computer. Interesting, huh? Now, obviously, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get these numbers for these parts, but there's only one way to find out, and that means I got to start up a MacBook chop shop, and we're going to try this thing. So without any further ado, let's take this computer and destroy it. For this project, we're going to be using the iFixit Protect Toolkit. It's literally the best repair kit that you could buy. Not only are we going to have all the screwdriver bits that we need to get inside this thing, but there are other tools like spudgers and tweezers which are really helpful for working in small spaces with tiny connectors. Additionally, for these newer generation MacBook Pros, the suction cup and picks are really useful for getting the bottom case off. Now, as far as working on a Mac goes, this is probably one of the simpler jobs for the main reason that we don't even have to worry about putting it back together when we're done. So in the case of removing the logic board, which is the first thing we're gonna do here, it's really just a matter of going around the board and checking all of the connectors to unplug them, and then go back around to look for the screws. There are one or two little small screws that hide up by the heatsink to hold it all to the top case, but once you get rid of those, the logic board just lifts right out. Now, if you've ever worked on another type of MacBook, the display assembly on this is a little bit more tricky because Apple had this whole fancy thing for this generation, and the hardest part is just kind of keeping track of all of the teeny tiny screws. Now, the nice thing about this particular operation is we don't need to put the screws back when we're done. So I've got a link in the description below on how to remove the display assembly from iFixit. That's really all you need. And as long as you keep the screws generally together, it doesn't really matter because we're not even gonna put this thing back together. So just follow the guide, take it off, and you're done. So with the display removed, that's it. Those are the four major components, but there are a few things that I do want to do. The first is removing the fans from the top case. This is another component that you can go right ahead and sell. But then crucially, the most important thing that you have to do if you want to take apart one of these computers is pull out the Touch ID chip. This is housed in the top case, but it is linked to the logic board. So when you sell the logic board, you sell the Touch ID sensor with it. And when you sell the top case, you sell it without the Touch ID sensor. This is a really, really important step. But now that it's done, we can photograph all of the parts that we're going to be selling and put them in an anti-static wrapper to keep them protected. Another thing that I like to do is keep all of the screws with the component that's being sold because frankly, we don't have a use for a pile of MacBook Pro screws. We're selling the MacBook Pro. So I just figure why not put the screws in a bag, put the bag with the thing that we're selling, and just have it as like a nice little bonus in case someone needs extra screws. So from start to finish, having everything all bagged up and ready to go, this was only about a 30 or 40 minute process. Now granted, I've worked on these things before, so it's a little bit easier for me, but it's definitely doable in under an hour if you take your time and are nice and thorough. So the next step is to sit down with our images and actually make all of the different eBay listings to get these things sold. Okay, so I have now sold all of the components of the MacBook Pro, and I've got them written down here with the total amount as well as the amount that I actually received after fees. Let's go through this. So we'll do this list in ascending order from the least profit to the most profit. All of these are going to be the actual amounts of money that I received after I deducted eBay fees as well as shipping costs. So when I sold the fans, I made $10.80. Next, I sold the antenna for a profit of $11.20. After that, the bottom case. That one didn't sell very well. I only made $16.10. And then, weirdly enough, was the top case, which I had a really tough time selling. So even though we saw a whole bunch of those listed at $200 to $300, mine just kind of sat there. I'm sure it would have sold eventually if I had a little bit more time, but I ended up just cutting the price, so I sold that for a profit of $116.32. And then we get on to the big bucks, the display, which I also moved pretty quickly and priced below market average. I sold for a profit of $469.30. And then the most expensive was the logic board. This was actually somewhat unexpected. I was expecting to have a tougher time selling the logic board than the display, but I made $619.28 on the logic board. So that means that after eBay fees and shipping costs, I made $1,242.10 selling these components from a computer for which I paid $1,000. So this experiment was interesting for a number of reasons, the main one of which is that it is very rare to actually make money selling a computer. Now obviously, I only had this for a couple of months, so there wasn't a ton of depreciation, but even given that I paid less than the market average, there's not really a whole lot of room for profit. So if I pay $1,000 for a computer and it's worth $1,200, that's a great deal for me as a buyer because it means I saved $200. But if I were gonna try to flip that and I sell it for $1,200, by the time eBay takes their cut, I'm definitely not going to make any money. So one figure that I think is worth keeping in mind is the value of the components that I sold before eBay took their cut, and that was $1,425. Now that is pretty significant. That's almost half the value of the computer again, just for the exact same parts, but not assembled. So that all sounds great, but it is worth noting that there are additional steps that have to be taken to do something like this. So yeah, it's great. I made over $200. However, normally when I sell a MacBook, I take pictures of it, make an eBay listing, put it in a box, and off it goes. It usually sells in a couple of days because MacBooks move in pretty high volumes on eBay. However, in this case, I had 6 eBay listings, which meant 6 different trips to the post office and 6 different packages and dealing with 6 different buyers, all of which have the potential to try to screw you over. And you're not going to be moving those 6 listings nearly as fast as you would with an intact MacBook, which has much higher demand and search volumes. So it did take a couple of weeks for me to get rid of all of these different components. Although to be fair, most of that was waiting on the top case. The display and the logic board, which were the majority of the profit, sold very quickly. Now, if I had been willing to really let the display and the logic board sit for a couple of weeks and try to get top dollar for them, I think I probably could have squeezed another $100 in profit out of this, but I wanted this to be done in a somewhat timely manner. If you are doing this specifically to make money, you don't necessarily want to be sitting on inventory without $1,000 in your bank account for like a month and a half, so that's worth keeping in mind. And to the one person who I know is going to comment,
"Luke, what are you doing? You destroyed a perfectly usable MacBook, you monster."
Yes, I may have taken apart a perfectly usable MacBook, but the 6 different components that I sold mean that there are now 6 additional MacBooks that are now fully functional. So take that. So what do you think of this process? Yes, I was able to make money selling a computer that didn't have any issues, that I bought at basically retail value, but it did require a little bit of extra work. Although fortunately, it wasn't that difficult with the help of iFixit. Check out the links and resources in the description below if you're interested in doing something like this, and let me know what you think of the results of this in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.